The Dallas Cowboys are back in the spotlight after a much-needed win, and fans everywhere are breathing a sigh of relief. Let's be honest, the season has been a roller coaster, but this victory against the Raiders has given the team a shot in the arm. The reality is the season isn't over yet, and that slim hope for a playoff push is very much alive, even if the odds aren't exactly in their favor. We're talking about a team that has dug itself into a hole, and even winning every remaining game might not completely secure their path to the postseason. Yet that minimal chance is still better than the despair that would have followed a loss. Had they dropped this matchup, we'd be here dissecting what went wrong, who might be on the chopping block, and debating the future of the roster. Instead, the Cowboys are in a position where a strong finish could turn a shaky season into something to build on, and that's a narrative fans are clinging to with optimism. Looking at the schedule ahead, it's clear this team needs to be flawless against some of the toughest competition. Philadelphia in Week 12 is practically a must-win scenario. Losing one or two games might still keep playoff dreams alive, but the losses cannot come against teams from the AFC, because that would severely damage tiebreaker chances. The Chiefs, though still formidable, are not untouchable. Their season has been a roller coaster as well, with their playoff probability hovering around 50% due to several unexpected losses. The Lions are lingering on the edge, trying to find a way in, while the Vikings are struggling with their own issues. Games against teams like the Vikings, Chargers, and Commanders, which may have looked daunting at the season start, could now be more manageable given how these teams are performing and dealing with injuries or inconsistencies. Still, the Cowboys have to string together victories in this stretch, including Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, and Vikings. Winning 3 out of those 4 matchups would put them in a viable position as the season closes, but it will require a near-perfect combination of strategy, execution, and perhaps a little luck. When we examine the defense, it's easy to get carried away after seeing them perform well against the Raiders. But let's be clear, the team's defensive unit isn't suddenly flawless. Yes, they made big plays, and there were standout performances, but this was against a struggling Raiders offense that ranks among the bottom 3 in the league. The real tests are yet to come. Teams like Philadelphia, Kansas City, and Detroit have shown they can score in bunches when things click, and the Cowboys will need to elevate their game significantly to hold up. A single strong outing against a weak opponent shouldn't make anyone assume that all problems are solved. There are still key challenges ahead, and this defense will need consistency and discipline if Dallas wants to compete at the next level. Enjoy the flashes of brilliance. Celebrate the players who stepped up, but remain grounded about what is still required. Speaking of players, the wide receiver situation has been nothing short of electrifying. George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb are proving to be a dynamic duo that challenges defenses in ways that make games more exciting for fans and more complicated for opponents. Against the Raiders, Pickens was unstoppable, racking up 9 catches for 144 yards and a touchdown, while Lamb contributed with 5 receptions for 66 yards and a score. These two players don't just coexist, they complement each other, forcing defenses to make difficult choices and creating opportunities across the board. It's a rare luxury to have 2 elite receivers on the same field, each capable of changing a game, and Dallas is capitalizing on that perfectly. Pickens, in particular, is enjoying a career-defining stretch, combining skill, precision, and timing with Prescott to create one of the most exciting offensive partnerships the team has seen in years. Lamb continues to draw attention, opening lanes for Pickens, and the synergy between them has become a critical element of the Cowboy strategy moving forward. Now, when it comes to contracts, the conversation around George Pickens is straightforward. This is not a moment for overcomplication or debate. Pay the man. Pickens is performing at a level that demands recognition and investment, and Dallas has the resources to make it happen. He is nearing 1,000 receiving yards this season, has amassed 58 catches, 980 yards, and 7 touchdowns so far, positioning himself for what could be a historic year. The discussion isn't about affordability. It's about securing a player who is pivotal to the team's success and building an offense that can compete consistently. The franchise cannot afford to hesitate. Locking in Pickens with a proper contract extension is a no-brainer. And while it may not happen immediately, this is the kind of forward-looking decision that keeps the Cowboys competitive and ensures they retain top talent for years to come. Discipline also came into play recently with the decision to bench Pickens and Lamb for the opening drive. At first glance, it seemed controversial, especially as turnovers occurred and the team started behind, but context is everything. The choice was about maintaining team culture, ensuring accountability, and sending a clear message about expectations. It's not always popular, but when handled correctly, it reinforces standards without disrupting overall performance. Ultimately, the players responded perfectly, dominating the remainder of the game, which underscores the effectiveness of thoughtful discipline combined with talent and preparation. The Cowboys managed to turn a small controversy into a narrative of resilience, demonstrating that strong leadership, clear boundaries, and the right mindset can coexist with elite athletic performance. The addition of Quentin Williams is another storyline worth watching closely. His debut with the Cowboys was dominant, particularly in the first half, which is something the team has rarely seen from a front four player, especially a defensive tackle. He brought constant pressure, multiple quarterback hits, and forced the Raiders into predictable plays to minimize damage. Williams' impact on the field immediately changes how offenses have to game plan against Dallas. His energy, skill, and presence create opportunities for teammates, while making the defensive line significantly more formidable. The excitement surrounding his performance is well-founded, and if he continues at this pace, he could become a central figure in the Cowboys' defensive identity moving forward. Looking deeper into the Cowboys' current form, it's clear that this team is at a crossroads where talent, strategy, and execution must align if they want to make a serious playoff push. The offense is firing on most cylinders, but there's still a level of consistency that needs to be reached. Dak Prescott continues to show why he's one of the most important pieces in this puzzle. His connection with both Pickens and Lamb has grown into one of the most dangerous passing trios in the league, and when the offensive line holds up, the results are nothing short of spectacular. That being said, Prescott is going to need to maintain precision under pressure, because the upcoming stretch of games includes defenses that will test his decision-making and poise like never before. It's one thing to dissect the Raiders' defensive schemes and come out on top. It's another entirely to navigate the blitzes and coverage variations that teams like Philadelphia and Kansas City can bring. The chemistry between the receivers isn't just about catching passes. It's about creating options, spreading defenses thin, and making every single play a potential game changer. George Pickens has shown remarkable growth in route running, timing, and awareness, and C.D. Lamb's ability to draw attention away from his teammate cannot be overstated. The beauty of this dynamic is that it forces opposing teams to adapt, often at the expense of their defensive priorities. When two elite receivers operate on the same level, it isn't just about stats. It's about the psychological impact on defenders who now have to account for multiple threats at all times. In turn, this opens up the running game and provides flexibility in offensive scheming. Fans are witnessing a rare synergy that elevates the entire squad. On the defensive side, while there are flashes of brilliance, caution is still warranted. Quentin Williams' debut performance was electric, and his ability to disrupt offensive schemes immediately changes the narrative for opposing quarterbacks. David Irving and the rest of the front line have also delivered impactful moments, but consistency is key. The Cowboys' defense must rise to the occasion against high-powered offenses like the Eagles and the Chiefs. Games against the Lions and Vikings are opportunities to solidify defensive identity, but they will require sustained effort and attention to detail. Every missed assignment, every blown coverage could have outsized consequences in a playoff race as tight as this one. The challenge is not just physical, but mental, maintaining focus over multiple quarters against teams that have elite talent on both sides of the ball. The coaching decisions throughout the season have also become a talking point. Brian Schottenheimer's move to bench Pickens and Lamb for the opening drive was initially controversial, but ultimately effective. It reinforced the idea that discipline and culture are just as important as raw talent. Leadership decisions like this create an environment where accountability is valued, and players understand that every action has consequences. It's a delicate balance, but when handled correctly, it fosters respect and a winning mindset. The team's response, dominating after the opening drive, was a testament to both the players' professionalism and the coaching staff's ability to manage high-level talent without stifling it. These moments build character within the squad, and in a league as competitive as the NFL, character can be just as decisive as skill on the field. Looking ahead, the schedule poses significant challenges. Philadelphia, Kansas City, and Detroit are not games that can be taken lightly, and the Vikings, while struggling, are capable of surprises. Each matchup will require precision in game planning, flawless execution, and minimizing mistakes. The Cowboys will need to win at least 3 out of these 4 critical games to maintain a realistic path to the playoffs. That's no easy task, especially when considering injuries, fatigue, and the quality of opposition. Every snap counts, every defensive assignment matters, and every offensive drive has to be maximized. The team's ability to perform under pressure, adapt to in-game developments, and maintain consistency across multiple games will ultimately determine whether this season ends in heartbreak or opportunity. Financially, locking in core talent like George Pickens is not just a desire, it's a necessity. Pickens' performance has been historic in the context of Cowboys history. Few players in the franchise's storied past have made such an immediate and consistent impact in their first 10 games. With nearly 1,000 receiving yards already, multiple touchdowns, and an undeniable connection with Prescott, the argument for securing him long-term is beyond compelling. The Cowboys have the resources to invest in their talent without jeopardizing the overall roster, and doing so strengthens both the present and future of the franchise. It's not just about paying a star. It's about maintaining the offensive engine that has shown it can compete with anyone in the league. The dynamic between Pickens and Lamb also offers insight into the evolving offensive strategy. The two receivers push defenses to their limits, creating mismatches, forcing doubles, and opening up the field in ways that benefit the running game and secondary options. The synergy allows for creative play calling, with Prescott able to exploit defensive weaknesses, pick apart coverages, and dictate tempo. This isn't just about individual stats. It's about creating a cohesive unit that maximizes every opportunity on every snap. The Cowboys have built an offense that is multidimensional, difficult to defend, and capable of scoring quickly, which will be critical as they navigate the final stretch of the season. Meanwhile, the defense has to continue learning from these high-impact games. Wins against weaker opponents provide confidence, but the team must avoid complacency. Every big play by Quentin Williams, every hit from David Irving, every defensive adjustment adds layers to a growing identity, but the real test will be against elite offenses. The Cowboys' defensive coaching staff needs to identify vulnerabilities, adjust schemes, and ensure players are prepared for the physical and mental demands of the remaining schedule. One slip, one blown coverage could derail the playoff push, making every practice, every film session, and every coaching adjustment crucial. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. A storm is brewing in Dallas, and it centers on the Cowboys' locker room. Sources close to the team are whispering about what could be a catastrophic blow to their season. A star player has suffered a serious injury, one that could sideline him for months. While the organization remains tight-lipped, the rumor mill is running wild, and fans are expressing outrage, disbelief, and frustration in equal measure. The whispers started subtly, with insiders hinting at a lengthy recovery and a potentially season-altering situation. Social media has since exploded with speculation, fueled by photos of the player leaving the stadium with medical personnel. Every angle is being dissected by analysts, bloggers, and diehard supporters, with theories ranging from a torn ligament to a more complex structural injury. What makes the situation even murkier is the lack of official confirmation, leading to a frenzy of rumors that only intensifies the tension surrounding the team. Fans are furious, flooding forums and comment sections with posts that alternate between disbelief and anger. Many are questioning the team's training and medical staff, wondering if more could have been done to prevent this setback. The sense of betrayal is palpable, especially among those who had high hopes for the season and pinned their championship dreams on this very player. Street corners, sports bars, and online communities are buzzing with speculation, each new rumor spreading faster than the last. Even within the locker room, sources suggest morale is shaky. Teammates reportedly find themselves in a difficult position, trying to rally while grappling with the shock of losing a key figure. The ripple effects of this injury are expected to reach far beyond the field, potentially altering game strategies, depth charts, and even the team's overall trajectory. Rival teams are likely watching closely, aware that a sudden vulnerability in Dallas could shift the balance of power in the league. While the Cowboys front office has remained publicly stoic, insiders hint that difficult decisions may be looming. Trades, roster adjustments, and tactical shifts could all be on the table, but the uncertainty only feeds the wildfire of speculation. For now, fans are left in suspense, holding their collective breath and waiting for clarity that could take days, or even weeks, to arrive. Meanwhile, the rumor mill keeps churning, and the buzz around the Cowboys shows no sign of slowing. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.